All right, so we are here with an interview with S2 MsPudding, and how you doing today, Miss Pudding?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I am good. We just thought you'd pick you up for a couple questions, just about your experiences at S2 and your experiences with Han. Obviously you're pretty a pretty visible member of S2 and kind of someone that a lot of people know about in the game. So uh, let me start out by asking you, what is your like I guess job over at S2?
Well, I primarily work in the customer support department, my title being support manager. I take care of most general support problems such as like account, clan, billing issues, and overseeing the other support employees. I also do a bit of voice work for S2 and produce promotional and like instructional videos with Nigma doing the video editing. To clear up any misconceptions about our videos, as I know I've seen a lot of that here and there, I do all of the script writing, but usually with a bit of input and collaboration on content between us and S2 Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny is obviously a good player. Actually, he's one of my favorite people over at S2 just because he has such good experience with Dota and with Han, and he is a good guy. And those videos are very informative, especially the ones that I've seen. They've definitely been a good addition to that site and a good addition to some of the new heroes that have come out. I mean, so working at S2, I mean, how is it working at S2? I guess a lot of people are interested in that. I mean, how is the atmosphere? I guess there.
Well, for the most part, it's a pretty laid back atmosphere. I mean, in the sense that we don't have set work hours. I mean, people kind of just like flock in and out of the office, and we're all good friends. We get along well, so it's a fun environment.
That definitely sounds like you kind of it's good to see a company like that, especially when it kind of shows in their work and in the way that the company runs. I mean, there's not really a very I guess I don't want to say serious because it is a serious deal, but I guess a serious atmosphere and like a very I don't know strict atmosphere about it. And I think it really shows in the game. Um, so let me ask you what got you into video games in the first place? Because obviously, as someone who works on video games on almost daily basis, you're probably very familiar with video games.
Well, I've been playing video games since I was a child, influenced by my two older brothers. I ended up playing many of their hand-me-down games, including most classic RPGs such as Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VII, and such. Although was quite busy with school and stuff, so I didn't really play games that frequently. I enjoyed getting home after a long day and just playing a few games casually. Warcraft 3 and Dota were some of my favorites back in the day. The two of them were really into fighting games, though, so I enjoyed watching them play, but I couldn't really get into it because I felt it was just too repetitive, and I really had no one to play with since the two of them are much older than me, and with the age gap, they didn't really hang around me as much as I would have liked.
Yeah, and your brothers obviously. I don't know if I guess I just figured this out too. Your brothers, you're telling me that they're actually pretty competitive and very popular Street Fighter players. So that is actually really cool. I like to hear that. One thing I actually wanted to ask you about is just kind of as a general question. It seems like female gamers a lot of the time. I feel like this is kind of why it's so I guess good for me to see someone like you working on a game and not just being kind of like I don't know a figurehead. And I see that a lot, and it feels like you actually do things at S2, which makes you feel good, but also competitively in video games. Why do you think it's taken so long to girls start showing their skills in the competitive scene and in these kind of competitive games?
Well, overall, I just think there's a really negative attitude towards women in games. I don't really like to generalize and attribute skill levels to gender, as many in our community love to do and even swear by. But it seems to me that there are very few girls that play in this particular genre, and those that do are heavily harassed for it. As a new or casual player, I'm sure many people know teammates and opponents are extremely rude and harsh on the player, and I'm sure that this attitude has steered a lot of people away from the game. And to top it off, if you're a newbie and female, you'll be griefed even harder for it just because other players will attribute every mistake that you make to gender rather than experience or the time spent actually playing the game. And the girls that even have the time, the spare time to devote honing their skills at the game and stick with it are only a handful. And with a poor attitude toward women, they're being repeatedly discouraged and pressured into playing like support roles because a girl can't possibly play another role in a team, right? With the poor attitude that our community and most competitive games have toward women, either as like attention idols and just they give them special treatment, or as individuals that most think it's okay to give extra shit for their mistakes and disregard the opinions of, I'm not surprised it's taken so long for girls to appear in the competitive scene.
That definitely is true. I mean, especially in a game like this, where even if you're, I mean, not even counting the fact that if you're a girl, if you're not instantly just the best player of all time in the game and carrying your team to victory with no extra effort, it's a rough game to start off with.
Yeah.
The genre in general is just very very difficult to get into, and but yeah, I do agree, and I do think that it's good, and I do play with some girls, in Han, and it's really funny just to see, uh, what kind of like just the harassment that they get, and it's actually kind of bad. Like even I know the people I play with aren't bad. They've been playing games like this, MOABs, for a long time, and they know how to play, and they're actually very good. But it is good to start seeing some girls getting some recognition and getting getting more into the competitive scene, not only in this kind of
Yeah,
genre, but in others. So besides playing Han, of course, which I actually found out the other day that you do play in your spare time, what else do you like to do when you're not working?
Um, well, I don't really have a whole lot of spare time these days, but really I watch a few videos online, to like some TV shows such as recently Dexter and play Han. No, I just chill at home.
Oh, yeah, it's always a good time. That's pretty much what I do all the time. So, I mean, and as for my heaviest hitting question of the interview, who is your favorite Han player and why?
Um, Honestly, I don't really think I have a favorite Han player. I mean, most of the time that I actually spend on this game is actually playing. I don't spectate a lot of games, although that has changed a bit recently. I mean, I think that I'd have more of an opinion on who I prefer in the future, but like right now, I haven't really watched enough games to even recognize certain players and their play style very
Oh, yeah, there's a good. I guess without knowing that much, you can't really pick one, but kind of an easy way out.
much.
Uh, well, I guess that's all I got for you. So, do you want to have anything else?
No, I guess not.
All right. Well, I thank you for doing this interview with us and with GosuGamers, and I thought it was a really good idea to do this interview and get someone's perspective from us too and get a little bit of insider information on them. So thank you very much.
Definitely, it was a pleasure.